Hello, my gorgeous group ones. Welcome to your reading. Today we're going to be getting into what do people say behind your back when you're not around, that kind of stuff. So what are they saying about you, child? Okay, I want us to get a little messy today, so let's see what comes through. If you are easily butthurt, I'm not the reader for you. If you're new to my channel, okay, just putting it out there. PSA. Everyone loves to complain when the truth comes out, and all of a sudden you're negative and you're this and you're that. But let's get into the truth of the matter. What do people say about you behind your back? If you're sensitive, not the reading for you. Please Spirit tap into the energy of my group ones, but more to the people that be talking about them behind their back. What they be saying? Let us know, please. The good, the bad, but the truth. Okay, please Spirit tap into the energy of my group ones. What do people say behind their back? Maybe not much, since the cards are taking a while to come out. They're not that talkative, so maybe people don't talk about you like that. Maybe some of you have a little bit of a stutter sometimes. That's what they mention. Okay, we have a taker. We have the King of Wands. Okay. Someone who's quite assertive. Someone who's quite confident in themselves. You're also creative. You're someone who is not afraid to go after their creative pursuits. So people are talking about that like, oh, that person is fearless. Like if they have something in mind, they want something, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Because the Lion is also the king of like the pack, the pride. So you're a really good leader as well. So people are saying that as well. Leader could also be borderline like bossy. Because the King of Wands wants things done when he tells you, okay? When he says hop, you better ask how high. He runs a tight ship, that King of Wands, you know? He's kind of like the CEO of a startup company. You don't have time for mistakes or excuses. You either can do it or you're going to get fired, that kind of thing. So you're a bit of like a hard ASS when it comes to the career, just in life. I do feel like you are someone who, I want to say thrives, but also demands perfection in like life, or from yourself could also be a thing as well. So if you're making a new song or making a new beat or you're making a new book or something, or you're starting a new project in career or just in life, you're very hard on yourself for it to be perfect, especially because it's something you love and you're putting your heart and soul into it. So that's something that's very important. The Lion also is reminding me of the Leo, and Leos are known for having really big hearts, okay? Being very social. So you're someone who's very social. You get along with people very well. People generally like you with the King of Wands. They generally like you. And kind of are willing to like do what you say. So follow you. Because of course you're the leader. So it makes a lot of sense. The cards are not trying to talk. We have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, that's what I was kind of already saying. You don't give up on what you want and what you desire. What you crave, essentially. And with the King of Wands, you crave a lot, okay? You could also be someone who's like very active, okay? When I'm thinking of someone who craves a lot, you could be someone who likes to, you know, sow your wild oats as well. And that's something people discuss behind your back. Because look at how he's holding his wand. You could also be someone who's very, the H word, if you're an adult, you know, when you like to have a lot of adult interactions with other people, the H word that people use to describe you starts with an H, ends with a Y. Okay, 5 letters. Well, okay, horn dog is not bad. Yeah, you're a little bit of a horn dog. We'll leave it at that, okay? And it's funny because I'm hearing when you're on social media these days and like the posts get extra freaky, people in the comments are like, why is my feed ovulating? So for some of you, it always seems like you're ovulating or whatever that equivalent would be for guys. I have no idea. But like my feed is ovulating because you just start seeing all these freaky posts. You're just like, excuse me, like what is it? Like since when does Instagram have these kinds of posts? People be getting crazy. And there's like one that I was seeing this morning. I'm like, what's going on here? This girl was like basically bawling her eyes out because she lost her favorite eater. And I'm like, what are we talking about on social media these days? Please, please. Okay. So you're definitely someone who like may have like a roster or something like that. And you have like, you talk to your friends about which one is your favorite eater, which one is your favorite this, and that, all that kind of stuff. Because the girl was legit like crying and was just upset. And I'm like, why is Instagram showing me this? Please stop, okay? But it's funny when you see it because I'm like, Instagram, what are we doing? Why is my feet ovulating, you know? But that's kind of what's coming through. The King of Wands has like a lot of bravado, a lot of strength, a lot of sex appeal as well. So you could be someone who's very attractive, okay? Or people find you attractive when you take control and take command. And that's what if you are someone who is in a like physical relationship with someone else, they're telling their friends that you put it down in the bedroom. That's what I'm getting here. Okay. You know, I'm hearing that song by Brandy and Chris Brown. I'm gonna put it down, you gonna fall in love. I'm gonna put it down, you gonna fall in love. If you put it down right, like the way I want it, play your cards right, maybe we can fall in love. Like, you used to be the song back in the day, stop it. But put it down is coming through, so you putting it down, for real. That's also what people say behind your back. You're good in the bedroom. Okay? And you could have like a lot of endurance, because the Nine of Wands is, I'm not stopping until you finish, until you whatever. So that is also coming through. Okay, so in your physical pursuits, very, very like, I'm hearing agile, please. You have like a lot of power, okay? Or control over people in that kind of way, or just in general, you know? Okay, can we get some more cards, please? Stop being stingy with the cards, Spirit. Let us know what people say about my group ones behind their back when they're not around. Here we have the King. Is this the King of, no, the Nine of Wands. Okay, so you have a reputation out here for wands, because look at all these wands coming through. You have a reputation maybe for being a bit impulsive, okay? But one thing about you, you're definitely the one who's taking action towards your goals and your dreams, you know? There's some people who hem and haw like, you know, what if I'm not good enough? No, you have confidence and abundance, okay? And I'm also hearing that song by Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran, what the heck? Where he's like talking about his wife and he's like, you have beauty and abundance. I think it's called Camera. So you do quite well in front of the camera. You have that appeal, like you're giving actor or person who is meant to like put on a show. Like you have great showmanship if you are an artist and someone who like sings, dances, writes, whatever. You're very popular in like the creative fields or whatever fields you're in. But yeah, I'm hearing that song by Ed Sheeran. He's like, you have beauty and abundance, even if you think you don't, you know? Yeah, that song is so beautiful. I love Ed Sheeran. He's a great songwriter. That could be something coming through for you as well. You're a great songwriter. Because one thing about Ed Sheeran, when you listen to his songs, he's going to put you in your feels. You're going to be sitting there crying. You're going to be sitting there feeling it. You're going to be sitting there smiling. Like, he's a great songwriter. And he paints a beautiful picture. He is one of my favorite songwriters because when he's like describing a scene, you kind of feel like you're there. You feel like you were a part of it because he describes it so well. Like how her hair felt, the smells that were going on, what is like visuals, you know what I mean? You put people in their feels and in the moment kind of energy, okay? But yeah, great showman. Okay, I'm hearing the greatest showman as well. So you're definitely someone who's born to be, like I said, in front of the camera, or you were born to be in a creative field, right? You could have like a really big personality and people are like, you don't need to be in a 9-to-5 job. You need to be in front of the camera somewhere, making your own stuff or being cast in movies and shows, stuff like that. So your personality is quite big, quite large, okay? That could also mean you have a bit of an ego on you or not. It really just depends. But I do believe that the King of Wands out of any, and the Knight of Wands, that coming through as well. I'll be forgetting he's there, right? You may have a little bit of like an ego or like a lot of pride, okay, for your work, or just, you know, pride in general, where you have a hard time asking for help or saying that you are wrong, maybe, or admitting defeat, you know? We also have a lot of cards that flew over. I'll just take this one that I see here. We also have the Emperor, because this matches what has already been coming through, so we'll take the Emperor. Like I said, there's definitely something here about you being the one people come to like see what it's like to live fearlessly, you know, to follow your dreams passionately. You know, people live vicariously through you, especially if your friends aren't as maybe promiscuous as you are, and they're not out here bumping uglies and doing this and living life, you know. They're like, I have to live vicariously through my friend here, okay? Because she the only one getting anything between the two of us here, or the group of friends, whatever you may have. Okay, the Emperor does have quite an ego on him as well. He's also ruled by Aries, so there's something here about aggression, you being very outspoken, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit aggressive. People can call you aggressive. Sometimes there's something here about like combat or physical. There's something here about that because the Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is like aggression, it's vitality, it's energy, you know what I mean? It's warfare, it's strategy, and that kind of thing. So you're really good at like fighting or like beating people up. Or you can just have like a really nice, solid like build, you know? And people are scared to say something to you because you're tall and you're gonna beat them up, or you're muscular, you're gonna beat them up, or something like that. There's something here about an intimidating factor that you have to you, where people are scared to say anything wrong or disagree with you because all of a sudden it's World War III and you fighting them, you know? So you can have very strong opinions, okay? But either way, the Emperor is definitely someone who people like just, I don't want to say flock to, but just blindly follow, because he's the Emperor. They really have no choice, right? So you could be someone who is quite pushy as well. When it comes time to do something you want to do, we're doing that and that's it. You could be someone who throws a hissy fit. The Nine of Wands is that kind of energy that will throw a hissy fit if they don't get their way, you know? Let's see what else comes through. My group ones, please, Spirit, what do people say behind their back? You could be a little bit of a headache because we have the Nine of Wands and the person here is like covering their head, like, oh, like I've been fighting round after round with you. I'm tired of fighting. We have the Three of Cups. So yeah, this is definitely like, you're the fun time, you're the good time girl, the good time guy. People come to you when it's time to go out and have fun and be the ideas person, that kind of thing. The next card we have that fell out is the Hierophant. Okay, so you do have a serious side to you, which we love to see, because we don't like people who are just, you know, all unserious all the time. I find it hard to take those people seriously when you're just always laughing and giggling. There's a time and a place for everything. So when it comes time to like following your dreams, you're definitely pursuing it. You're proving everybody wrong. You're not backing down or giving up. So you're definitely someone who, if you've heard no multiple times, you're still going to keep going and trying. Some people can't hear that. They can't hear no and keep going and keep fighting and keep like knocking down doors. You're like, oh, you said no, let me go get a ram and batter down this door. Like, if you're not going to let me in willingly, I'm going to let myself in, that kind of thing. And that could definitely be a lot intimidating, not even a little intimidating, a lot intimidating, because people are like, ooh, is there nothing you won't or can't do, kind of thing. So your greatness, your creativity can be a bit intimidating because people don't think they can live up to you and your standards, for sure, okay? But the Three of Cups is a good time person. You're the person people want to go out with and have a good time. They want to go clubbing and partying with you, okay? Especially because it comes out clarifying the Nine of Wands. So you're definitely the person who's drinking everyone else under the table. You're trying to get everybody drunk. Like, you're just having a great time. If you don't drink, you're the person that's getting everybody dancing. If your friends are not dancing, you're going to be the one that's dancing by yourself in the middle of the crowd. You don't really care, that kind of thing. So you're definitely someone who doesn't care, doesn't mind to have eyes on them. You like attention. Is definitely something coming through with the King of Wands being the first card out on the table, okay? The King of Wands, I believe, is... What is the King of Wands? Is it Leo energy? I think the Queen of Wands is Leo energy, so maybe the King of Wands is Sagittarius energy, who knows? But either way, Aries, Leo, Sag energy is coming through, and we have a bunch of fire. So you have like a very fiery personality. Like I said, it could be borderline argumentative or just bold and like scary and like hot, you know, in a sexy kind of way, in a too hot to handle kind of way, you know. I do believe y'all would be on that show on Netflix, Too Hot to Handle, where the people just, yeah, that's y'all. Because basically the show, I think Too Hot to Handle is a show with like Lana, and she's like a Siri, Alexa based clone. And they get people who are just very, what is it? high on life. They don't really live by any rules. They do whatever they want, quite selfish. They sleep around. They don't know how to be in a committed relationship, whatever. And it could lead to, hurting people. They just don't care about life at all, or other people's feelings, that kind of thing. Or they just worried about what they want, And they bring them on this show to help them build and form more healthy connections. So basically, I think they give them a prize of like $100,000. And if you come on the show and kiss someone after Lana has laid down the gauntlet, or you are seen touching yourself in any kind of way, like, sexually, right? They have cameras everywhere. Everyone in the house loses money collectively. So it's kind of like you're challenging yourself to become a different or like better person, okay? But like, not even, they're telling you not to have any kind of relations. They want you to form bonds, because there's a reason why people are walking around not wanting to settle down or be serious in a connection, or they want to be in multiple connections, that kind of, there's a reason behind it most of the time. And Lana trying to get to the bottom of that. She wants you to, be serious and try, at least figure out your traumas. They be having, therapists come on there. They be having you do challenges, like open up and learn more about yourself, So there's like a hidden message behind the show, but it's basically a bunch of young, randy, horn dog women and men who just go through life screwing anything that moves, don't really have much morals. They bring them on the show because they're too hot to handle. And by the end, there's supposed to be like a significant change made in them, They come on the show to, like, I guess, grow, evolve in some kind of way. Y'all would be on too hot to handle, I kind of feel like, But the show's actually good. I'm not even gonna lie. It teaches you lessons, and it kind of makes you think about certain things in different ways, I'm trying to remember which season was it, but there's like a few seasons where the women are kind of like, oh, like they cry and they say, it's because I've been through this and that. So like there's a deeper meaning behind the show. It's not just about watching a bunch of hot people come together and make out all the time. There's like a deeper side to it, okay? But y'all are giving y'all will be on Too Hot to Handle on Netflix, okay? So I'm gonna pull from this other tarot deck, the Cozy Witch tarot deck. I'm hearing you're quite the formidable foe. You're quite foreboding. Like, you're fun, but there's an intimidation factor, because the Hierophant is also someone who I would say is seen or held to a high regard. People respect them. His name is whispered. He's revered. He's highly respected. So while some of you may be on the more carefree, loosey-goosey side of this spectrum, there are some of you who are on the more serious, responsible, very traditional, maybe like not saintly, sanctimonious kind of energy. So it's like a one extreme to the next. You either take nothing seriously, you take things too seriously, is the vibe that's coming through. But either way, you're coming through with someone who's quite fun. You're quite creative, right? You're very talented, whether it's like comes to singing or dancing. You're quite beautiful. You're very attractive as well. You're a great leader, that kind of thing. People are saying all these things behind your back, but they could also be saying, maybe she be doing a little too much and he be sleeping around too much, and she, can never form a proper attachment, that kind of thing. Maybe people think you're a commitment phobe, is what I just heard. Oh my, that would make a lot of sense with the Hierophant coming through, but then also because he's the commitment card, I would say, or one of them in the deck. And then we have all these other energies which are not so commitment oriented, with like the Knight of Wands, and that's hilarious because we have the the Hierophant, coming out to clarify the Knight of Wands, and they're two vastly, distinctly different energies. The Hierophant is the person you will see at church who's covered up, who's never been in a serious relationship, who's never probably had sex in their life, kind of thing. They're very much is chaste, that kind of thing, where you have like a chastity belt and you don't let anyone come 10 feet near you and that kind of thing. And then we have the Knight of Wands, and he's dipping it and doing it any which way and how he can get it. And it's funny how they came out like in the same row. So I'm like, is there a kind of duality to you, where sometimes you go buck wild and sometimes you're more serious? Or maybe you used to be buck wild and now you're more serious, or maybe you used to be more serious and now you're buck wild. Take what resonates for you. But we have all of that coming through. Either way, you're quite fun. You can also hold your liquor. The Three of Cups and energy of going out, dancing, partying, celebrating with friends. So you could have like a lot of friends, or your friends like think very highly of you. They enjoy your presence and your energy, and I would hope so. You know, because that's a friend right there. Let's see what else is coming through. What do people say behind your back? I'm hearing a little bit of a Lush. You like good things. Lush is actually a brand that sells body care and stuff. They sell lotions, they sell sprays, they sell bath bombs, they sell a bunch of stuff having to do with the body, and it's all like natural and stuff like that. So maybe you're all natural, all natural, you know, that kind of thing could be coming through as well. But Lush is definitely someone who likes the expensive things in life, you know. A Lush is also, I think, described as someone who doesn't like to do much, because Taurus is very much that energy. Taurus or Taurian people can be known for being quite lazy, you know. They like the finer things in life. They like to indulge in a lot of things, and that's what's coming through. I like to call my Taurus as my hedonist people. They want to experience all kinds of life, all kinds of food, drink, experiences. They want to be just in their house, and they're under their blanket watching TV, very much giving homebody vibes, don't want to be bothered, but they're always like, you're the Tauruses for me are they're chronically online shopping, buying more things that they don't need. Okay, they like to be surrounded by things, and it makes sense because they're an earth sign. So you guys are giving someone like to shop a lot. Okay, that's funny that you're getting the Hierophant energy, but then everything else is kind of like, maybe you're very spiritual, but you do have like a more worldly side. So I'm remembering how when I was younger, my grandma used to, like, when she was talking mess about the people in the church, she would call them like they're true of the flesh. And me and my sister would just bust out laughing because we're like, what does that even mean? You know, how adults use languages that kids don't understand yet. And we would just always hear, oh, they're true of the flesh. I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? Just for us to grow up and find out of the flesh means you're not enough in the spirit. You're too worldly. You like too much worldly things. There's no like, not even seriousness, but there's no sanctity to your life and how you live. Like, you're too worried about appearances, you're too worried about what people think, and you're too worried about the next fashion trend and just, you know, getting power and money and stuff like that. And we just started busting out laughing because now when we try to, you know, have our own inside joke, we call people fleshy. So if you ever hear me or my sister calling you fleshy, you're too of the flesh, child. Okay? But that's what's coming through here. But it's weird how it's coming out, but we have the Hierophant here, which is a very spiritual card, you know? So maybe you are someone who deals with those things, but you're also someone who's very spiritually rich, you know? You have like some kind of, how can I describe it? Foundation, spiritual or religious foundation, but maybe you had turned away from it and now you're kind of going buck wild, or maybe you found it and now you're kind of less, I don't know, wild as you used to be, you know, it's the best way I can put it. Wow. We have the Two of Cups coming through. You're really good at connecting with people is what I'm getting here. The Two of Cups is like a more romantic card, of course, but what I'm getting from the Two of Cups in this card is like one-on-one connections. Like, you have really good conversations. You ask all the right questions. You're really good at connecting with people solely emotionally, you know? You could be someone who like falls in love quite easily or too fast sometimes. Okay, so Spirit, please tap me into the energy of my group ones. So my group ones, what do people say about them behind their back? Most people could like be secretly in love with you behind your back, and they're talking about how they want to be booed up with you, but you don't want anything with them. I keep getting this commitment vibe energy here. And it would make a lot of sense with the Hierophant and the Knight of Wands being in the same like row. The Knight of Wands is the commitment phobe. He doesn't really want anything serious, but the Hierophant does. So there could be two different sides to your personality that kind of makes you a commitment phobe. And like I was saying, like back to How to Handle the Show, the people that were on there like weren't looking deep enough to figure out why they were scared of committing to one person and instead wanted to sleep around with a bunch of different people. And that could be something coming through for you. You may not be someone who sleeps around, but you could have commitment issues when it comes to love, you know? Your friends, your people like, why you not settled down yet? Or that guy was so nice, why didn't you like him? Oh no, he was too nice, and that kind of thing is what I'm getting from you. Like, you don't know what's good for you when it comes to love. Is a vibe that's coming through. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just getting what I'm saying what I'm getting, okay? But yeah, some of you don't want to be committed at all, or some of you do want to be committed, but you have a hard time trusting people and opening up. But people see how you have this capacity to love and connect with others, so they're wondering, why are you so single? There are people who are in your life that you may like be friends or acquaintances that are like halfway in love with you, but you are not seeing the vision, is what I'm getting as well. So the next card we have is a toxic witch. Ooh, that's crazy. This is the devil. And that's what I was saying about indulging too much into certain things. You have a shopping addiction, a food addiction, it's giving sloth a little bit, that kind of thing with the Taurus card coming through. The devil's also someone who is too attached to certain things. So you could have attachment issues when it comes to, romantic connections. It could either be anxious or what's the other one? I haven't touched up on my attachment styles in a minute. It's anxious attachment, and then we have avoidant. So some of y'all's avoidant, y'all run from connections and love, commitment phobe. And then we have some of y'all who are too clingy, and y'all are just, you get attached too quickly, anxious attachment, okay? Or some of y'all are mixed, okay? Y'all are, what is the saying? Is it, it's not difficult, complicated? Complex attachment or complicated attachment, one of those. Y'all are a mix of all of them. You want a connection and you get attached quickly, but then when it's time to commit, you run in, Okay, these cards want to fall out. Are we taking them? We have the 9 of Wands coming through again, so I guess we are. That's funny. Yeah, so you're definitely someone who is steadfast. You don't give up. You persevere. You could be someone who's been through a lot of strife and struggle in your life, and people are kind of like surprised you're still kicking. Not surprised, but like in awe that you've been through so much and you're still this carefree, light, fun person. But you didn't leave, or you weren't unscathed, because you do have some things coming through here, right? But it's still mostly positive, honestly, okay? And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have a lot of knights coming through, so definitely, like I said, action based. When you want something, you're going after it. If you want to say something, you're saying it. If you need something, you're speaking up, okay? But maybe not so much when you need help. You don't want to be vulnerable. The King, the Lion, the Leo, pride is like their 7 deadly sin for their, like, I guess, sign. But yeah, you don't like to ask for help, so you'd rather just suffer in silence, that kind of thing. But you're quite good at suffering and overcoming the suffering, so maybe it's not a bad thing. I don't know. Check in with yourselves, okay? If this is not resonating for you, then that part is not for you, period. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles is also someone who's good at like being patient and taking their time and being very diligent, making a plan and going by the plan. By the book is also what I'm hearing. I'm seeing that. I haven't used that deck in so long. I almost forgot I had it. Or I did forget I had it. That's what happens when you have so many decks. But the Wisdom of the Oracle, I think is the name of the deck. And there's like a specific card that says by the book. And it's like a bunch of like elephants or animals lined up doing things by the book. So you're definitely a by the book kind of person. You're not taking shortcuts or that kind of thing. You're doing things by the book. That's Knight of Pentacles for me, okay? But on the card, it says, slowly but surely, you're going places. That's something people say about you as well. Slowly but surely, you're going places, right? So the Two of Cups says some people are like the pumpkin to your spice. So people are quite attached to you, okay? When they meet you, you have a lot of people who are emotionally attached to you. So I do believe your well-being kind of affects them. It's like empath energy. When someone in your life is hurting, you're hurting with them because you care so much about them. When you're hurting, people can feel you hurting, but you don't ask for help. So it's kind of like, it's weird, it's interesting, it's entangled, it's hard to decipher. So you have a best friend, and when you're hurting, she or he can tell you're hurting, but they don't want to bring it up because you're not talking about it. So they're kind of just being hush-hush about it, but they're feeling your pain. You know what I mean? Or when you're going through pain, you come to them about it, they're really like feeling your pain as well, because they're quite emotionally attached to you and your emotions and how you feel, you know? My stomach is hurting now. Here we have the toxic witches. Be cautious of those who take more than they give. Interesting. I'm not getting that vibe from you guys, but that could be for some of you here. I don't know. I can't get in touch with everyone's energy, but maybe some of you take more than you give. Toxic witches. That could be something coming through. And then the 9 of Wands says, it would take a hell of a lot more to defeat you. Yeah, we know. We know. So let's pull from this Mermaid Oracle, and then the reading will be done. Whew, okay, please, Spirit, can we get some last messages from the Mermaid Oracle deck? What are people saying about my group ones behind their back? This flew out. We have protection. Yeah, so there's something here about you, like, keeping your emotions or feelings close to your chest. One thing I did notice is we didn't get any, well, we did get a cup, but I'm like, we got mostly wands. So someone who's like always defensive, like you're always like maybe hard, or you're hard to kind of, you're not that vulnerable with most people, okay? So you always have like a little bit of a barrier up against like emotions and being vulnerable and asking for help and that kind of energy, okay? Because protection is definitely coming through here. And like I said, we got mostly very masculine, hard hitting, protective, providing, going after, chasing, yang energy. A lot of yang energy in this group, not a lot of yin. So you're definitely giving someone who's like hard to get to be open and vulnerable and honest sometimes, you know? Not honest like a, oh, tell me the truth. Honest and like a, how are you feeling? You're not going to be like, oh, I'm really struggling right now. You're not that kind of person. That's not coming through for you guys. So sometimes you're too strong, you know? But protection is definitely someone who's protecting themselves against something. Can I get one more card or a few more? Two more. We'll take two more cards from this deck. What are people saying about my group ones behind their back? Interesting. I don't know if I'm just hearing this song because it's been on repeat lately, but I'm hearing Tangerine by Damiano David. And the part that I'm hearing is, I'm sorry, you gave me sugar, but she gave me honey. I'm sorry, you gave me sugar, but she gave me honey. You got me high, but she made me a junkie. Something, something, na 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 na. If I could shed a tear for all of the years. So na 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 na. You were a good time. She's the rest of my life. The song is so good. It's Tangerine. And basically he's like, I realize that you're a peach, but I'm more into tangerines. So he's saying that we had a good time together. We were probably fooling around for years. But as soon as that person who's like my person comes in, it's done for you. It's over for you. It's clipped, you know? Because he's kind of like, you're a good pop song, but she's Bohemian Rhapsody. You're peach, but I found out that I'm more into tangerine. You know what I mean? You gave me sugar, she gave me honey. A more healthy, better tasting alternative. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like comparing two people, but also in a way where it's like, it was always going to be them, not you. I'm sorry, you know? Ugh, that's harsh, but that's coming through for y'all. I don't know what that could have to do with anything, but it's definitely giving me that. Maybe you're someone who's like, you treat people as a good time person, or is it a placeholder until your forever person comes in? Wow, that's kind of, okay. Whew, that could be what the devil's saying. Like, you use people sometimes. When you're lonely, you use someone, then you kind of leave them high and dry. I mean, that's life sometimes, though, you know? Not to excuse y'all, behave, but come on. Here we have Wanderlust. That's that Knight of Wands energy, King of Wands energy. You love to travel and explore new things. You get bored quite easily. And you may not like to stay in one place for a long time. The last card we have here is Renaissance, and I was hoping this would come out for somebody. That's why I chose this deck. The Renaissance is definitely someone who is artistic and creative, so that keeps coming through. What you create, people adore, they love it, you know? They find it as some revolutionary is kind of what I'm getting. But the Renaissance period was a time of art, creativity, writing, that kind of thing, architecture, you know, people flexing their gifts, you know? So like a time of creation is kind of coming through for you guys. So you're very creative, you know? Very creative, love to go after what you want, very bold, brash, open, you know, fearless, that kind of thing. There's nothing you won't be able to do or achieve or conquer, right? Nothing's going to hold you back or hold you down for long. That's the kind of energy coming through. And that's what people are saying about you behind your back. But I'm going to leave your reading right here. I hope it resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Look at how this Emperor, though, maybe sometimes you think you're better than everyone else, or maybe they think that you are, is the kind of energy coming through as well. They think that you're better than them or most people, right? They hold you on a little bit of a pedestal with the Hierophant coming through. you know? You're really good at giving advice as well. I forgot to say that with the high priest, the Hierophant. Really good at giving recommendations, advice. You're really good at knowing what people want to hear. No, wrong. You're very good at knowing what people need to hear, right? And telling them, okay? You're also good at, I guess, knowing what they want to hear, but you're going to tell them what they need to hear instead, okay? That's that critiquing energy that I feel coming through a little bit. Like, you're someone who's like, you know what? That perfection vibe that I was getting earlier, you know? Where I see you trying and everything, but you could do a little bit better, if we're being honest here. That kind of energy. Okay, let me stop though. Like I said, I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you'd ever like to book a personal reading, my email is in the description box below. But I do hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group twos. Welcome to your reading. Today we're going to be going over what do people say behind your back, or what do people say when you're not around. Behind your back sounds kind of shysty, so we're just going to go with what do people say when you're not around. What do they say about you, okay? So we're going to get right into it. I just had a really big, just feel-good sneeze, but it came out of nowhere before I pressed play on your reading. So you could be someone who's very outspoken, right? You don't really hold anything back. You're not afraid to get loud, okay? Yeah. I'm hearing loud and proud. It's hard for you to not say stuff. It's hard for you to hold back because, like, there's something going on with my throat chakra right now where it's like sounds wants to come out. Like, I kind of want to burp, but it's not. It's like, I'm like, no, don't do it. But it still wants to come out. I'm like, that's not cute to do on camera, but it kind of went away a little bit. But all of a sudden, when I started your reading, I'm sneezing. Like, stuff is going on with my throat chakra. So there's something here about you being very outspoken, or it's hard for you to hold things back when it comes to, I guess, speech, okay? So opinionated could definitely be a thing coming through right away. And I just saw 111 as my confirmation. So first and foremost, if you are someone who is sensitive, you get butthurt very easily, do not watch my readings, period. This is my PSA. For anyone who gets offended, doesn't like anything negative in the reading, just please go. Like, please, thank you. If I say one negative thing, you're going to be butthurt and all of it. Like, no, this ain't for you. I'm not the reader for you. I say like it is. I'm not holding anything back. Whatever comes to mind, whatever comes through in the reading is what's coming through in the reading. That's about it. You either accept it or you don't, right? That's a PSA for you guys. And that's kind of, I feel like, your energy. Like, if you're going to sit down in the corner and behave. You know what I mean? Don't be getting butthurt. Y'all are too grown for that. I feel like y'all are adults. Y'all are too grown to be in someone's comment section getting crazy because you didn't like what they said. Like, you can either speak or not speak. Sometimes it's best for you to not speak, okay? That could be something people feel about you guys as well. Who knows, right? But either way, I guess everyone's entitled to their opinion, so speak away. Why not? But let's see what comes through for you guys. My group 2, please spirit tap into the energy of my group 2. What do people say about them behind their back? My group 2s. What do people say about them behind their back when they're not around? A lot of cards are coming through. So people, first of all, group 1, took forever for cards to come out. Y'all cards want to be 15 cards coming out at one time. I refuse. So people have a lot to say when it comes to y'all. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We love to see it. I love 9 of Pentacles. She's such a cutie. She's a baddie with a fatty. Let me stop. Have y'all heard that sound going on social media? She a baddie with a fatty. Something like that. That's funny. Okay. That could be something coming through for you guys specifically. And then we have the 9 of Swords as well. 2 9s coming through. Interesting. You could be a little anxious sometimes. You're kind of giving a I'm just a girl kind of energy. People think about you that way, where sometimes things like hurt you quite easily. You could be someone who's like overly sensitive or just sensitive in general, Sensitive is not a bad thing, but like small little things hurt you that wouldn't hurt other people, So maybe you don't have a thick coat when it comes to insults or people feeling negatively towards you, that kind of thing. Because the 9 of Swords, I feel like with the 9 of Pentacles coming out, the 9 of Swords should stay in reverse. But for the reading's sake, we'll keep it upright. The 9 of Swords is just someone who tends to be anxious. a lot of the time, you know, most often than not, right? We have all these things coming at her in the background. I love how they're shaded and she's in living color. Sometimes we need to remember that what people say are just words, right? It's not gonna hurt you. It's like giving sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. They're literally just words. Let them go in one ear, not the other, child, okay? So that's coming through with the Nine of Swords. Like, you let people's thoughts and feelings bother you too much. You care what people think about you too much sometimes, okay? That is what people are saying about you behind your back. But then we have the Nine of Pentacles, okay? So there's something here about you being very, like, the word just came and left. I hate when that happens. Ugh. Very stable, very structured. You have a good head on your shoulders. You're very good at accomplishing your goals, right? You could be someone who's like a lot of money. And it's kind of tying into when you're successful, people start hating you, you know? It's kind of giving the mentality of when they say people build celebrities up to tear them down. Like, you were just loving on them 2 seconds ago, and all of a sudden, when they're doing something or say something you don't like, all of a sudden they're public enemy number one. Like, make it make sense. It's kind of giving that for you. When you're on your high horse, people want to do anything to tear you down, and you guys seem to be very, like, sensitive to the things people say or how they feel about you. So it's like, because you're successful, people have bad things to say, and it leads to you being anxious, you know? So there can be something here about you being in a spotlight or having a lot of eyes on you, whether it's at work, at school, on social media, whatever it may be, okay? So it's kind of like, oh, these bad thoughts are hurting me. And it leads to you, like, just overthinking sometimes, you know? It doesn't even have to be anxiety. It's like questioning yourself. That's something you could do a lot, okay? So let's see what else is coming through for you guys. Let's see what else is coming through. Ooh. Like I said, a lot of cards. You have Six of Cups. You're just a baby. You're so sweet. Yeah, you guys are giving me my sensitive kings and queens. I love that for you guys. And then here we have the artist. Yeah, so like I was saying, there's something here about you creating stuff, and you could be very sensitive about your work, okay? Because there is some success here with whatever you do create in the world. It doesn't have to be, okay, artistically driven. It doesn't have to be based on wanting to be a star, being in the spotlight. There's something here about you making stuff. And I do believe people who are quite sensitive are great artists, because the capacity to feel leads to you, like, following your emotions wherever it may take you, whether it may lead to art, whether it may lead to music, whether it may lead to something else. There's something here about you, your emotions, like, draw you and pull you, not control you. That's not what I'm getting. Your emotions, like, I don't know, make you like a really good person, right? You're a Six of Cups, which is someone people always feel comfortable around. You always remind them of, like, their childhood best friend. You bring them back to their childhood. So there's something that could be very carefree, childlike, very innocent about you, okay? What else is coming through? But the artist is definitely someone who is good with their hands, is what I'm getting. You're good at making stuff, creating stuff, you know, from scratch for a lot of you. Like, I'm getting finger painting and colors. That could definitely be something you do, you know? Like, you're a big kid who gets to paint and canvases and murals and stuff like that as an adult, which is something all of us kids love to do. Go to color, we love to paint, we love to get dirty, be outside in the mud, sculpting, whatever made us the dirtiest, we love to do, okay? So you would definitely be someone who likes to use your hands to do stuff. And once again, like, I want to expel air, and I'm like, why? I was fine before this reading. Whew. You could talk quite fast as well. I was like, wow, she's leaving already, because it's 5 o'clock. I finished my work early today so I could come and do this reading, because it's supposed to get cold. You could definitely be someone who's, like, very informative. You know a lot about a lot of things. You always inform people about certain stuff. So I'm like, why am I telling you all this stuff? Okay. It's also quite easy to open up to you. So people feel like they tend to have to be on their guard, because they'll just spill all their tea to you if they could. Okay, let's see. What else is coming through for my group twos, please, Spirit? You could also be quite outdoorsy, is a vibe that I'm getting as well. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Yeah, that's something here about you being quite susceptible to people who are sneaky. I do feel like people who are, like I said, emotional beings, more sensitive, you know what I mean, dwell more on their intuition than others. So if someone is making you feel bad or not making you feel great, you're going to be more susceptible to their negative energy. And that's something that is, like, very valid. It doesn't make you a crybaby or something. It makes you, like, just very open, you know what I mean? But the Seven of Swords in reverse is definitely coming through as, how can I describe it? An open book kind of energy, where you're, like, that's what I was saying in the beginning, where you don't really hide anything. You say what you want to say. You say how you feel, even if it hurts someone's feelings, or, you know, if it's something they may not want to hear, it's something that's coming through. Because the Seven of Swords, even if it is in reverse, there's still an energy there of, is it like foul play? You know, where someone is doing something that they may not supposed to be doing, or someone else may see as negative, you know? It's like, I'm being truthful, but you're taking it in a negative way. That's like, you know? What else is coming through for my group twos? Please, Spirit, what do people say about them behind their back? Come on, give me something. These cards are so pretty. I love them. I've wanted these cards for so long. I'm glad I got them finally. I was buying every other card in the book besides this one. Here we have Strength in reverse. Yeah, there's something strong about you always like being able to bear your emotions, being able to cry. You know what I mean? I'm hearing Like a Girl by Lizzo. There's something here that about how men think that women are weak or vulnerable because they so willingly show their emotions to the world when it makes them stronger than ever, you know, especially in the kind of world we live in. When you're someone who is sweet, who's sensitive, who's very open and vulnerable, it's seen as weak, but it's really quite strong to know that people will judge you and still be yourself anyway, you know? So you may not consider yourself to be strong, maybe physically or maybe emotionally, but you quite are. You are. You really are. Because it takes a lot of strength to be yourself, to bear your soul, you know? And that's something you definitely do. So the next time someone calls you weak, spit in their face. Let me stop. Ah! No, don't spit in their face. Oh my gosh, I'm getting the scene from The Flavor of Love where Pumpkin did that tour on New York, and New York ran after that girl and grabbed her by the hair. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I would have thrashed that girl from here to Timbuktu. Because the one thing you're not going to do is put spit. I really don't even like spit like that. For you to take it from your mouth, I don't even know your mouth is spit and spit on me. I will, I'm going to jail that day. Yeah. Anywho, that scene just came in. I don't like that. But anyway, like I was saying, if next time someone calls you too sensitive, just tell them to shut up. You know what I mean? But I'm hearing that, like I said, I'm hearing that song by Lizzo, Like a Girl, where she's like, y'all be thinking that women are weak, but I'm going to do it like a girl. You know what I mean? Because that means I'm even more strong. That men don't understand what we got to deal with up here. We got to deal with pain. We got to deal with periods. We got to deal with ovulation, PMS. We got to deal with all this stuff. And they don't got to deal with nothing, but they see themselves as the strong ones. We got to give birth. For those of you who out here be having kids, like, there's so much we have to deal with. We have to be looked down upon, belittled, called the weaker sex, like all this stuff we got to deal with out here in the world. And on top of that, we got to be called weak or feeble. Like, don't do that. Men could not live a day in women's shoes. I promise you that. So the next time someone calls you weak, if you're a woman, say, hey, mind your business, shut up. Or just don't let it slide right off your back, Because people love to be spreading insults instead of spreading a compliment. Maybe you're someone who's very complimentary, or you're like always building someone up, making someone feel safe around you, that kind of thing. And while others just want to bring and tear people down, you're just like, oh my gosh, you're always saying nice things. You're so weak. You're a simp. You're this. No. I'm quite the opposite. It takes strength to be vulnerable and still want to give love and spread love in this world we live in, child. It takes extra strength. So you're extra strong. Even though most people won't describe it that way, they still like look at you and all like, I wish I could be as open as that person, So we all have our strengths. And I do believe you being emotional and open and just like people feel comfortable around you is one of your strengths, right? And that's what people are talking about when you're not around. Maybe some of you have kids, so people talk about your kids as well. That's also what I'm getting. How you're always with them, how you're a good mother, how you're a good father, that kind of thing. I know everybody who subscribed or watching this video is not going to have kids, but for some of you, that is coming through. Maybe you're too hard on yourself as well with the 9 of Swords coming through. Maybe if you are a mother or a parent, or just someone in general, it doesn't matter. You know, there's something here about you being too hard on yourself. You don't give yourself enough credit, you know? Oh, sorry. I'm hearing that part from Hamilton where, what is it? I think it's James Madison, where he's like, we don't give Hamilton enough credit for the credit he gave us. So when he was alive, he was seen as someone who was greedy. Like when you're an innovator, everything you do is seen as, oh, outlandish or ridiculous until, like, what is the saying? It was impossible until somebody did it. It was crazy until somebody did it. People look at you and say, oh my gosh, you have lofty dreams. You want to do this, you want to do that, and you want to be a singer. You want to, you know, make money with your art. That's so unrealistic. Like be real. Be for real. Like, I am being for real. I'm following my emotions and where my path is taking me, my intuition. Like, I know I'm meant to be something, and I'm following that niggle. Follow the niggle. You know what you came here to do. That's also something people said. You know what you came here to do. You have a mission and you're following it, and some people are mad because they're still floundering, trying to figure out what they want to be when they're older, and you're well on your way. 9 of Pentacles vibes. Like, you know who you are. You're very settled and strong and sure in who you are as a person. 9 of Pentacles is definitely someone who has built themselves up, who has gone through the trenches, who has gone through the storms, who has weathered the storms, and now they're a fully functioning human being where other people are still struggling to say hi, or to say I love you, or to open up to someone. You're sitting here just thriving. You're giving me a Jenna Rink person, you know, how she was someone who was very, very, very open, someone who was very optimistic, someone who was very loving, you know, someone who was very, I don't even want to call it naive, but innocent. In that way, if you've seen the movie 13 Going on 30, especially when she became Jenna Rink as an adult, but still 13, right? How she brought everybody together at the party, the Halloween party or the business party. She brought everyone together to play Thriller. Like, she brought the kid out in everyone. That's that kind of what I'm getting as well with the 6 of Cups. So if you don't have kids, you bring the kid out in everyone, you know? You could be someone who's very playful, reassuring, sweet, you know? Kind of like, is it earnest? That's the word that's coming through. Earnest, like kids are. And kids don't lie either, so you're definitely giving that kind of energy. The 9 of Pentacles is someone who has like growing hands, healing hands as well, because anything you touch turns to gold, and that could be something people are mad about as well. You know? Every song she writes is big. Every video she makes goes viral. There's certain creators who are just like, how is every video you're making going viral? Like, most people have they have thousands of followers from one video, you know what I mean? And then after that, nobody watches their videos over and over again, you know what I mean? And there's certain creators who have all these followers, and every one of those subscribers or followers or whatever are watching all their videos and commenting, liking, and subscribing. And that's because one thing about that person is they're authentic and they're earnest, and people can feel that through the screen. So if you see, the next time you see a creator who has people who are riding for them real hard, don't be jealous. Take notes. Like, people keep coming back. Why? Obviously because they're being authentic, and people can feel that through the screen. And there are some people who are performative. There are some people who are fake altogether. And you guys are giving not that. So you've built your success mainly from just being who you are. You know what I mean? You're using your creative abilities as well. Period. Especially with the artist coming through here. The artist is unique to this deck. Okay, and I feel the need to put the artist right there by the 9 of Pentacles, so we're just gonna do that really quickly so you can see the cards, but I don't think I have them down enough. I don't think you're a good liar either, is kind of what I'm getting as well. The 7 of Swords is someone who's inclined to lie to get what they want, but they're inclined to be quite good at lying or deceiving in some kind of way. But they're coming out in reverse. You're someone who's quite honest, you know? And now that I'm thinking about it, I do believe this should be over here with the 6 of Cups, which is giving that childlike, earnest energy, okay? And then here we have the Strength card. I do believe this is kind of perfectly matched with the 9 of Swords. So you consider yourself to be quite strong. People could walk around thinking that you're weak. Sure. Or you have a lot of inner strength. You may not have like a lot of physical strength, but you have emotional strength, you know? Ooh, see, now that some of you could be from group 1 because that same song that was coming through group 1 is coming through here. Camera by Ed Sheeran, how he's like, you think you don't have beauty in abundance, but you do. So I believe it is a song. I'm trying, now more of the song is coming through. I don't need a camera to capture this moment. I can, something, the way you smile for all my life. Na 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 na, yeah, something is glowing. What is, how does this song go? I don't need a camera to capture this moment. I remember how you look tonight for all my life. When everything is black and white, your colors exploding. There's something in the way you shine. I don't need a camera when you're in my eyes. Something like that. But he's just like, I remember the way you shine and glow from within for the rest of my life. I don't need a camera to capture your innocence, your beauty. You know what I mean? Oh, I love Ed Sheeran. He's so beautiful. This is also another energy that I was talking about in group 1, where you're a natural songwriter, where you are like kind of like poetic in a way, with the things you say, or people are like, what? Did you read that from a book? And you're like, no, I made it up myself. They're like, wow, you should be writing poetry. You should be writing prose. You should be writing songs, stuff like that. Like, I'm getting more so music and poetry and writing for this group. Some of you could be singers and dancers, but I'm not getting the active part of creation. I'm getting like, you see something in your mind and you paint the mural that makes people feel things. You go through an experience, you write it down and make a song out of it, and people can feel that emotion from the song. There's some people who sing songs and write songs, just kind of like, it's missing a little anecdote in there. But there's something about the Ed Sheerans of the world. What else? Who are my other favorite singer-songwriters? The Julia Michaels. Like, there's specific people. Even, what's her name? Lizzie McAlpine. That first song she made, Ceilings. Like, whenever it comes on, I get chills because I'm transported to a place that I used to know, especially, you know? So I'm like, I experienced what she's talking about in the song Once Upon a Time. I don't have it now, but I experienced once. But I experienced it once, and that song always takes me back. Who else is a good singer-songwriter? What's that girl's name? Gracie Abrams. Like, those people, that's why they just pop off. Lauren Spencer Smith, I think her name is. Like, they're really good at conveying how they feel, the emotion they felt in the moment through their songs, through their voice. You can hear it. And sometimes when Ed Sheeran be growling or getting raspy, I get chills. And it's like, it's only specific people who do that. There are singers who make you feel right, but not the ones who wrote their own songs, you know? There's a different kind of feeling that from people who write their own songs, because they went through experience themselves and they're kind of putting the emotion into that. So I do believe you guys are giving me like singer-songwriter person, where the person's there with their guitar, singing the strings, not singing the strings, playing the strings and singing along to it. That's the kind of energy coming through for you guys, okay? But that artist, I do believe for you guys, is mostly like music or poetically driven, you know? Or like I said, drawing, painting a mural and making people feel stuff, you know? Even drawing, painting, sculpting, stuff like that. I just felt the need to touch my hair. So something here about maybe your hairstyles as well. You make people feel like better about themselves. You could also be someone who just speaks affirmation into people. You make them feel better about themselves. You're really good at doing that, right? Healing their inner child, what I just heard as well. Okay, that's beautiful. I don't need a camera to capture this moment. That song is so beautiful. I recommend you listen to it. Camera, Ed Sheeran. I remember how you look tonight for all my life. What more can you tell me about what people say behind their back? I'm using the Cozy Witch Tarot. We have the Sun. Yeah, You brighten up a room, you light up a room, you bring the warmth wherever you go. People feel your authenticity and your brightness, your bright light. You could be someone who people want to take pictures of, or you could, like a camera, you could be a photographer as well. Sorry for leaving that out. I always feel like I leave that out. Photographers, I'm gonna show y'all love, I promise. I'm sorry. Camera was the perfect segue into, you could be a photographer as well, but I feel like I don't think of that naturally, so it just came through. I'm like, people who want to take your picture, you could be a model for some of you. You're a muse. That's the kind of energy coming through for you guys. You're a muse, or like the world is your muse. You find inspiration from every experience, every tear shed, every bad word given kind of energy. You know what I mean? Oh, I forgot one most important singer-songwriter, Taylor Swift. I used to despise that lady. Like, I did not like her at all. Still on the fence, but I can admit that her songs make me feel stuff and transport me back to moments in my life that just had me in the trenches of emotions, okay? Those are the singer-songwriters coming through. Who else is a good singer-songwriter? Olivia Rodrigo, her first album went, popped off the way it did for a reason. That first song she made, Driver's License, we was feeling the pain she was going through in that song, child. We felt it. You know what I mean? Leon Thomas, another good one. If I don't know who his name is, he's the singer-songwriter of the song Mutt. You know what I mean? That song has been going viral everywhere lately. But I feel like there's a certain authenticity and a nakedness to singer-songwriters who release their own music instead of singers who just sing other people's music. There's a difference, okay? She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. Like, go off, Leon, period. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Photography could be something coming through as well. You capture a moment and beautifully in time, make people feel stuff, that could be something that you're really good at. Most people are not good at that, which is why there are photographers and there are people who take pictures. There's a difference. Here we have the Page of Cups. This is that naivety and innocence that keeps coming through. People can see it as a bad thing or a good thing. Take what resonates for you. But behind your back, they're saying you're a breath of fresh air is what I just heard. You are so easy to laugh, easy to play, easy to get along with someone, that kind of thing. It's very refreshing. Some of you could have a yellow aura. It's just almost blinding. Don't tell me we have toxic witches. This is coming through again from the same blasted deck. Who out here have haters? I don't like that. The next card is the Broom, Death. You're always recreating yourself. You're always recreating yourself. I'm trying to figure out why I'm feeling a sense of deja vu. Some of you could be like very in tune and tapped in. Because I feel like someone was saying that recently. Or I'm just feeling a big sense of deja vu with the Death card. Yes. Someone was saying something about that. I was reading a post from Lotus Tao Tarot. I think she posted it a day or two ago. I don't remember when. But it starts off with, it's 333 on the clock, right? And she's talking about how you have been going through constant deaths, how the person who people would project onto you, you're finally shedding those layers. You're finally coming into your own and figuring out who you are, away from the labels people may have given you, and I felt that real deep because I feel like there's a part of me who always not was naive or gullible, but when people would say things about me when I was younger, I was like, oh my gosh, is that true? Is that true? And I would take it to heart and hold on to it. And I'm like, people would say you're lazy. I'm like, but I know I'm not lazy. People would say you're this. I'm like, but I know I'm not that. But it would still stay with me. But I'm at a point in my life now where I'm like, I know who I am. I don't care what anybody has to say, I know who I am. You cannot tell me who you think I am. And I would be like, oh my gosh, you're right. I know who I am, child. And that's it. That could be who you are as well. You're someone who has shed so many layers of your life. You're always constantly becoming someone new. I wonder if I can find the post. Okay, I found it. So she says 333 on my clock as I started to type this. A sign that this will find you when it's meant to. When you're aligning with deeper truth, new truth. That's the thing about truth. It evolves, it changes over time, especially when we set out on self-development journeys. What felt undeniably true to your ego last year may not be anywhere near the truth for you now. What rang true for you just yesterday may feel hollow and false today. So often we cling to the truth like it's fixed in place, when in reality it's immovable. As we continue our journey through expansion, growth, acceptance, and healing, we start to see that undoubtedly. We evolve in alongside our truths. We see them from new angles, or that they never really served us at all. Okay? Especially the ones about ourselves, our worthiness, our wholeness, our humaneness, or our humanness. Okay? So in reality, hold up. Right now, you're observing a new perspective of an old truth. Maybe it's about money or a dream job or a goal that no longer fits with you anymore. Maybe it's about family or love or lack thereof. Whatever it is, it's starting to quake. You're not so sure that it's true anymore. Likely, this was a truth that turned into a core belief, a false perception of you. In reality, this was a projection of someone from your past, a parent or older sibling perhaps. It was their truth, and they tried to make it yours. And you were too young to know the difference. Child, I go over the whole thing, because the way I was in bed last night, like, ooh, a word was spoken into my soul last night through this post here. Because there's so many projections from family members when they were upset, when they don't even know who you are for real. From people who you don't even know, from people who may know you quite well. So many projections. They be saying stuff and you just hold on to it. And you hold on to it. And you're kind of like, it's true. Someone calls you ugly. Oh my gosh, somebody said they're ugly. Like, who cares? Honestly, what someone else thinks about you. Who cares from their perspective what they think you are or aren't? Like, who cares? Is the vibe that's coming through. You know what I mean? That could be something you're learning right now. People are talking about that you become someone completely different lately. Now what the words they say don't even hurt you no more. They slide right off of you. Because these things, these projections they're placing onto you are their truths. People who are miserable want to say anything to make you miserable. There was also a post from, one of my subscribers. I posted a post on YouTube, and it was like, what is something that you've learned in life or something like that? Let me see if I can find it. Glad to know YouTube knows who I am. Appreciate y'all. I was like, give me some life advice. What is something that you've learned that you want to tell other people or whatever? And I got to scroll down to find it because I'll be posting a lot. Sorry. If you're still here, I appreciate y'all for sticking around, okay? This reading isn't as long as it could be. Okay. What's something life taught you that you still live by? So one of these comments stuck with me, y'all. And she was like, if someone is miserable, don't listen to what they have to say. Hold on. Yeah, people who aren't happy with their lives can't show you how to live yours. And I'm like, what? That's on period. That is something I've learned as well. The things people were saying to you when you were younger, projections they were giving to you, placing upon you, came from themselves. So I'm like, why am I still holding on to these things and saying I can't be this and I can't be that? Like, that's not my reality anymore. Never was, honestly. And that could be something that's coming through as well, the death card coming through. You've gone through a lot of changes. And people are like, wow, I never thought you would make it here. I never thought I would see this version of you, this side of you, whatever. But this toxic witches here could definitely mean people talking ish about you. Or you holding on to things people said about you. And now you're kind of letting them go, you know? Take it how it resonates. But I'm getting the devil is different in this group here. It's like people were trying to make you think you were this person, but you really weren't, you know? They were trying to make you think you were too sensitive, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of reminding me of I was like at home one time. It was like a whole big blowout in my house because people were doing wrong and I was telling them about themselves, you know? And they were talking about, what is it? When I get upset, I start crying. Like, I wasn't even upset, like, emotionally hurt. I was mad. And when I get mad, I cry. So I was crying. And the person that I was like, going back and forth with was like, oh, why are you crying? Suck it up. Grow some balls or whatever. And I'm like, why would I want to grow balls? Saying something about me not having a male member. And I'm like, why would I want to have a male member when I'm a woman? Like, I'll be a whatever word you want to call me because I'm a woman. Like, I'm gonna cry. That's what women do, right? We feel our emotions. Like, because you can't feel, don't try to project it on me and say, oh, grow a pair. I forgot what was said, you know? But basically that's coming through again. Like, people putting projections on you. Oh, you're a wimp. You're this. You're a crybaby. You're this. You're that. And it's like, why are you in my business first and foremost? That's the one thing I will never understand. Because me, I can never be in nobody's business like that. Talking about, oh, why you always crying about something? Why you always doing that? Why you always acting like this? Let people act how they want to act. Unless it's directly affecting me, it's none of my business. If you want to cry for everything, sis, I'm going to stand beside you and cry with you. I'm not going to sit there and tell you to suck it up. That's not cute, nor is it cool. Because I may not be someone who's always crying all the time, but if you are, that's you. I'm going to accept you for who you are. You know, now if it's affecting your work or your emotional well-being and you're crying over this dusty man, then it's a problem, you know? But if you're just crying because you're feeling a lot and you're taking the world around you, cry, sis, cry, sir, you know? But she was like, oh, look at you crying, oh, why don't you grow up here? Oh, you're acting like a bitch. I'm like, yeah, because I have a this, I don't have a that. I don't want to be a man. Why would I act like a man and act like I have a whatever in between my legs when I don't? I'm gonna cry. And I was like, yeah, like projections, like the things you learn the more you live life. So I'm like, would you even say that to somebody? They're crying and you're talking about why don't you have this and have that? Like, don't do that. Don't leave people alone, child. Okay? That could be a thing. Like I said, crybaby energy coming through here for y'all. Y'all better cry. And that's it. But that's what's coming through for y'all. I feel like that's what people are saying. And I feel like you've made a change lately where maybe you're not crying as much. You've like grown a backbone a little bit. But yeah. Either way, you're coming through with someone who's quite bright. You know, people love to be around you as well. There's a light that shines from within you, you know? But yeah, I'm like, why would I want to have that in between my legs when God that's what I'm like, God gave me a this. He ain't gave me a that. So I don't want to act like a man and not cry and suck it up. Like, don't piss me off. Don't do that. Because, okay, that's enough. But there's something here about you going through a transformation, people recognizing it. That's also what they're saying behind your back. It says, tidy up your life so you can make space for something better. That could be something as well. You've gone through a lot of endings. Maybe, like I said, you went from someone who didn't really do much, who's doing a lot. You went from someone who, like, it's giving people said in high school you wouldn't be anything, and now you're successful and you're doing something with your life, that kind of thing. You know, that's the kind of energy coming through for y'all. So people, like, had low expectations for y'all, and you're kind of blowing them out of the park, and people are whispering behind your back, like the toxic witches from your school used to make you feel, you know, low about yourself, or kind of like, oh, look at them, they're all that now. Yeah, I am. All that and a bag of chips. Mind your business. Play with your mama, don't play with me. Period. You could have grown a backbone. You could have grown a backbone for sure. And I love that for you. Okay? Didn't expect this reading to get so long. Okay, so it says in Toxic Witches, be cautious of those who take more than they give. That could be something you're stopping as well. You're building better boundaries for yourself. But you could have been someone who also cut a lot of people off. You did a nice clean sweep in your life and you was like, nope, nope, nope. I'm not dealing with you anymore, not dealing with that anymore. You could have cut off a lot of friends, family members, that kind of thing, and moved on with your life. That's funny. Okay, not funny, but I love that for y'all, for real. Because, yeah, sometimes it's very necessary. Especially if all they're saying is bad things and kind of belittling you and making you feel low. And it's like, it ain't cute. Don't take life advice from people who are miserable in their lives, as the lady said under that post, okay? But I do definitely, you know, if you feel called to go look up that post from Lotus Tarot, it was beautiful. I felt that. Okay, is this Bloomberg? Why that man got so old? Good Lord. He always come up with a new company. I tell you, rich people have nothing better to do but themselves. Sure. Okay, we have home. I've never gotten this card. Look at that. This is so freaking beautiful, guys. Look at the card. I've never gotten this card. This is why I keep using these decks. Like, y'all sick and tired of seeing them? Well, we haven't seen all the cards in them yet. Mind your business. I'm going to keep using it. Or maybe I'm just the one getting sick of it. I get sick of things very easily. I move on and get bored quite fast. We have find your voice. Abso-freaking-lutely. That's what you've done. And that's exactly what I was saying in the beginning. You're someone who doesn't hold back anymore. You could have been someone who held back because you didn't want to, you know, ruffle feathers. You didn't want to make anyone upset. You didn't want to get screamed at. You didn't want to do this, that. But you finally found your voice. Some of you could have bought a new home, but home is definitely giving you the energy of people feel at home with you, around you. That Six of Cups and Sun energy. People just feel a warmth coming from you, you know? Can I get one more card, please, Spirit? One more card for my group twos. What are people saying behind their back? So you've gone through a bunch of different transformations. We've touched on a bunch of different topics in this reading. So you're going through massive shifts and transformations. And look, we have veil of deception coming through. People could think that you've changed quite a lot and that you're being fake. I don't know. That's weird. That's a weird energy, in my opinion, because what do you mean? Maybe you guys are being sneaky about something, because we did have the 6, 7 of Swords coming through for you guys. So maybe you're keeping things. That's the boundaries I feel like is coming through. People think you're being sneaky because you're keeping up boundaries now. Oh, shut up. Don't piss me off. What is wrong with people in the world? I swear. What is wrong with them? Like, because what do you mean? You're now being called sneaky and there's a veil of deception now because you changed from who you used to be. Don't piss me off, guys. That's not y'all, but the people who are coming through the reading, because it's annoying at this point, you know? Anywho, yeah, you are cleaning house. I love how cleaning house come through. We have home. You're cleaning house. You moved away. You cut people off. You like said, I'm done. You wash your hand in the situation. And now people are like, oh, look at her being sneaky and and keeping things away from us. It's not about that. It's if people are negative in your life, family or not, it's time for y'all to go. Okay? Period. And you did that. You learned that lesson. Whether it's friends, family, lovers, whatever. If they're holding you down, keeping you, belittling you, it's time for them to go. And that's something you definitely learned. And I'm glad you did. So maybe you're in the energy of starting over as well. But the Nine of Pentacles is you making money, you living life. You could, the Nine of Pentacles and the home card coming, you could have a nice home. Or like I said, you just moved somewhere and it's like more lavish than people thought you could afford. And you're living this nice lifestyle, going on vacations. People are like, how are you making your money? But they're not going to know, right? Because we have veil of deception. Yeah. So you're keeping the specifics of a situation, your art, how you make your money to yourself. And people are like, oh, how is she making her money? I wonder. Or how they're making their money? I wonder. How they afford to live here, there, how they afford to go on trips. People just nosy, but that's what's coming through for y'all. I don't want this reading to get any longer than it needs to. And look at how we have this person here blowing the whistle. So finding your voice could definitely tie into you, like singing, stuff like that could be coming through. But yeah, this whistle blowing, snitching. You know what I'm getting? I'm getting a video that I was seeing on TikTok from, what's her name? Mystical Mermaid. And I love how I'm using the mermaid deck. And she was like how there's a lot of secrecy that goes around in certain families where people have been doing stuff for too long and no one wants to talk about it. It's too much hush hush. And that's perpetuating very toxic, very dangerous, very negative cycles. Like if someone's like touching the kids in the family and no, hush, don't talk about it in the name of family. Are you dumb? I'm whistleblowing on everybody in that bit. Oh, he was doing that. She was doing this. He was doing that. Yeah. Get the police right now. How dare you tell your kids to stay quiet or call them liars because of what they went through? And I'm like, I wish I go through that in my family with nothing to that magnitude. More so people keeping secrets and being hush-hush thinking, oh, you don't got to know that, and whispering behind people's backs. And it's so ghetto, but it's tired as well. And that can be something that's going on as well. You're someone who's like telling everything. You're whistleblowing, airing all the dirty laundry. And people are mad because, and I don't know what families think it is about this secrecy. Don't keep everything in the family. No, air that ish out. And that's what you're doing. Anywho, I'm going to leave you reading here though. Like I said, I keep chatting. Y'all talk too much. I tell y'all group do. I promise you, it's your energy come through, not me. Okay. If this reading resonated, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you would ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always do so using my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. Keep being your beautiful self, and as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group threes. Did I say 2? You can't even see my fingers. I said 3. Don't mind your business. Welcome to another reading. Today we're going to be getting into what do people say or think about you behind your back. If they're not saying it, they're thinking it. What are they chatting about when you're not around? Okay. We're going to hop right into the energy. There was something here about maybe blocked energy or something stagnant energy. Because when I was shuffling, you know when you shuffle and it kind of like breaks or like doesn't shuffle properly. That kept happening a few times, and it wasn't happening for group 1 or 2, so it's happening for you guys. So we'll see how that comes through in the reading. But please, spirit, for my group 3s, what are people saying about them behind their back? What are they saying when they're not around or thinking? Yeah, that part. I didn't say that part for group 1 or 2 either, thinking. So people could think most of the things they're thinking about or saying behind your back. They could just think it and not really say it. Let's see what comes through. Are we taking this card? What card is this? 2 of Swords. I'm getting this is more of an energy of people who are undecided about how they feel about you. I feel like for most of my group 3s, maybe there's something here about you putting up a wall where people don't really know who you are. That, you know, I'm gonna say that well. People don't know you that well, so they're kind of like, what do we say? Or maybe you're just very private. People don't know what to say, right? But I'm gonna put this card back. This feels like the energy of people who are talking about you, not you. So I want energy of what they're saying. And my hands are coming through ashy. Can y'all see that? Unacceptable. Now we give y'all a sneak peek. Like, can y'all see that? I'm sure they can. Not too much. Thank you. I'll mostly be catching myself before anybody can call me ashy. So that's one thing. I just always wash my hands, and it's getting cold outside now, so it's just the ash be there, and it's unacceptable. Okay? So maybe you guys are coming through as ashy or moisturized. I don't freaking know. People's like, can you imagine? That is so immature. Oh, group 3 is always ashy. Mind your business. What does it have to do with you, though? That's crazy. Anyway, that's what's coming through, I feel like. Either you're moisturized or you're quite ashy. I don't freaking know. You know, you'll know better than me. I can't see you. I'm only doing energy work here, okay? So let's see what's coming through for my group 3s. Please, spirit, come get a message. Maybe you have ADHD. I'm getting that vibe of there's always one group that's all over the place. We have Temperance, or maybe not. Let's see. What else is coming through from I'm hearing you guys think before you speak, because I'm blabbing as soon as a card comes out, but I'm like, nope, let's wait for the rest of the cards to come out. Let's think this through, that kind of thing. A very well-balanced person. Ooh, what card is this? We have the 7 of Swords. Has this card come out for all 3 groups so far? What is up? Somebody could be watching all 3 groups. 7 of Swords. It did come out in reverse, so we'll leave it like that for now and see what else comes through. You guys are giving me wise, elder kind of energy. We have the Empress. Ooh, beautiful. I love that. Can you see all 3? Yes, you can. What else is coming through for my group 3s? Please, spirit. What else is coming through for my group 3s? What are people saying about them or thinking about them behind their back? Oof. What card is that? Let me see. Is that Justice? It is. Ooh, yeah. There's something like upright and very like, how can I say it? I want to say it in a mocking way, but I just can't. There's something just like fair and balanced and just about you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this person seems a little bit too good to be true, too perfect. And that could make a lot of sense with the Empress card. With the Empress card coming through. Come on now. Piss me off. I'm like, oh, this person's so fair and honest and truthful. Like, that's how I kind of want to say it. So people are mocking you for telling the truth and being a what is it called? Upstanding citizen of society. That's crazy. That's kind of what I'm getting. Your goody two shoes vibe is coming through for y'all. Temperance is someone who exercises every day and eats healthy. Like, I keep wanting to say it like mocking. People be haters for real. That's crazy. To be mocking someone for eating healthy and you got your steps in today. You're so honest and hardworking. Like, people are so aggy. That's crazy. And now I see the King of Pentacles coming through the Justice card. I'll take them. Then we have the Ace of Cups, but I'll leave that in there for now. That's funny. People are so, I just can't. They said, look at you eating your, what is it called? You know what this is giving me for real? There's a series of videos going around on social media where people are like, how Black people will mock you for anything. Oh my gosh. And I'm trying to remember the original video that I saw, but I can't remember it. But I saw a different variation of that video on Instagram a few weeks or days ago, and it was basically a father playing video games with his friends. And he's like, okay guys, I gotta go feed my child for a second, I'll be right back. And then he came back to the stream of them gaming, and they're like, look at you being a responsible father, and just like clowning him for the most stupidest things that he's doing, being what is the other guy, he's sitting at a table at a restaurant, and is he like drinking wine or eating pasta or something? And he's enjoying his food, and they're like, look at you enjoying your meal, and they're just making up fun, like, stupid names for him. And it was like the funniest thing, because one thing about Black people, they're gonna make fun of you for living a happy, good life. It doesn't matter if you're struggling, if you're happy, if you're moderate, if you got a good job, if you got no job, like, they're gonna find a way to make fun of you, right? And that's what I'm getting here. Look at you eating healthy and getting your steps in today. Like, why are y'all mad about that? That's crazy, like I tell you, but it makes no sense sometimes, so I guess. What else can you tell me about what people are saying about them behind their back? You're just giving me like a very strong, healthy, well put together kind of person, and people are mocking you for being well put together. Like, but not like a kind of like upset kind of way, but in like a, look at you being an upstanding member of society. Look at you recycling all your stuff. Like, and I keep wanting to use a mocking voice. Like, yo, people are different out here. Okay, let me get one more card, please, Spirit. Can I get one more card for my group threes? What are people out here saying about them? Look at you having a big heart and actually being in a healthy relationship. So you make healthy decisions. You have healthy habits. You take care. Look at you having clear skin. Like, that's what I don't know why. I'm gonna stop. I promise. If y'all getting upset, but it's just so funny to me how people are just, I keep hearing it in my head as a mocking voice. Someone saying, look at you getting all straight A's. Oh, you think you're so smart, right? Like, shut up. People are so, that is the energy coming through here. So you make good decisions, you go to work, you get up at a good time. Look at you going to sleep early, like that kind of thing. You go to sleep early, you have formed healthy habits, you have a healthy connection, you're happily married, your kids all get straight A's, you have a nice big house, a nice car, like you have a stable partner, you make money, they make money, you have a nice place somewhere, y'all go on vacations, y'all have a nice sex life, like everything in your life seems to be going quite well, with the first card being Temperance. Like everything is good, everything is gooch, but people are like they can't say anything really negative, so all they can do is mock you for being a good sport, mock you for being good at what you do, mock you for having a good relationship. That's kind of what's coming through. A good family. Look at you having a mom and a dad. This is funny. Okay. Some of you may call you a little bit boring. Some people may call you a little bit boring. That sounds better. Some people may call you guys boring, a goody two shoes. You don't, draw outside the lines. You don't color outside the lines, You don't do things that's out of the box, that kind of energy. Okay. Oh, this is the sun. How beautiful. A lot of major arcana first and foremost, okay? We have the Temperance card, we have the Empress, we have the Sun, and then we have Justice, and we have the King of Pentacles. So a lot of major arcana cards coming through. Your stone was very positive thinking, positive. That's why I feel like people can't really say anything bad about you, because you're just an all-around good person. There's nothing they could say but except mock you for being so good, so talented, so pretty. You don't have a mean bone in your body, Ooh, excuse me. Jesus. Are we done? Okay. Oh, they said no. I don't want the hiccups, please. No, don't do that. Okay. I'm safe. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, we have the Sun. Your Sun, who's like just positive. Okay, an all-around good person. You're trustworthy. You're successful with the King of Pentacles, right? You're dependable. You're loyal. You're a good father, a good mother. The King of Pentacles always gives me a good father. You provide for your family. Some of you have kids, right? Whether you're the provider, the mother, the father, your kids are taken care of. Like I said, they're having straight A's. Y'all go on family vacations every year. Like you come from a good home. If you're like an adult that doesn't have kids yet, but if you are someone who's like more established and you have kids and you have a family member, people are like looking at you. Look at you having a white picket fence and an all-American kind of family with the 2.5 kids and a dog kind of energy. They have nothing really bad to say, so all they can say are good things, but mockingly. That's funny. Okay, the Empress is someone who's very attractive, who's very good at getting what they want. Okay. I'm getting natural beauty coming through here for you guys. You don't really have to do much. You know what I mean? Maybe your life was easy, and that's some people talk about it as well. They say behind your back, oh, your life was so easy. You got you got everything easy, kind of thing coming through as well. Let's put these cards down. I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put them, but I guess it doesn't matter. I'm hearing some of you are picture perfect. I know what he is. I don't want to cover the Empress, so we'll do it like that. So you can still see her. She's a star here. Justice, someone who's fair, you know, someone who I just had it and it left. How rude. Someone who makes decisions, someone who is like very logical. You see reason, right? You're not someone who's too loud. You're not too soft. Like, I do believe you have like a very regulated lifestyle. You know what I mean? You're happy, you're healthy. Like I said, you get your steps in every day. You eat the healthy food. You have a nice home, that kind of thing. You like operate in the realm of like logic and reason is kind of what I'm getting as well. If people need good advice or some kind of guidance, that's the word I'm looking for. Don't mind me. They need some kind of guidance. They're definitely coming to you because they know you're going to have the right answer. You're going to give them the right answer because you like are the kind of person who, what's the saying? You have their best interest at heart. That's the saying, you know? That's kind of what I'm getting as well. You also do lay down the law. That's what I was getting about goody two shoes. If something's going bad or wrong, and you're definitely going to be the one to point it out, saying, no, that's not the right thing to do. We have to do the right thing. Like if you guys found a $100 bill, you and your friends on the ground, and you saw who it fell from, one friend is like, no, let's keep it. And the other friend's like, yeah, let's split it. And you're like, no, we know who it fell from. Let's go give it back to that man right now. They're kind of like, look at you being a good member of society kind of thing. People are hilarious. That's kind of what I'm getting for you guys, what they say behind your back. There's not anything really negative that's coming through in the cards, which is funny, except for the Seven of Swords. You know what I mean? And it came out in reverse, so it's not fully negative, you know? The Seven of Swords is an energy of like hiding things. The Seven of Swords in reverse can be an energy of like letting things go, airing things out. It's kind of like when there's conflict, you want to deal with it right away. And I love how I put the Justice card here now. It's kind of clarifying the message a little bit more. When there's issues, when there's confusion, when there is sneakiness, you're the person coming in and kind of clearing it all out. You're bringing the light into the situation, right? Some of you could be from group 2 because you have the sun coming through again, but I'm more so getting you bring the light and the truth and honesty to the situation. I do want to get this book really quickly and see what they say about the Seven of Swords in reverse. I feel called to look it up, so just give me a second. Okay. The Seven of Swords in reverse, responsibility, acceptance, challenges, and commitment. The Seven of Swords upright is betrayal, escape, deception, lies, schemes, taking risks. How is the opposite of that? Responsibility. Yeah, taking responsibility for what's going on. You're the kind of person who will definitely do that. So when there's any kind of denial, you're the person that's saying, hey, don't do that. Like, that's not going to get you anywhere, you know? And I don't think you do it to be condescending with people. People can kind of take it that way. You're always doing the right thing. You always have the right answer. You always get grades in school. Like, you're really pretty. Things come easy to you, right? You can have pretty privilege as well. With the Empress, the Sun, and Justice, you have pretty privilege. Money comes easy to you. You built the company from scratch and you are successful while other people are struggling still. That's the kind of thing coming through. So you have like a very good life and people are like, look at her and look at them with their good life kind of thing. So it says the Seven of Swords. There might be some area in your life where you're not completely honest with yourself or others. Now is the time to recognize the deception or denial and confront it. You may think that you're getting away with something, but what is the cost of your actions? What does that mean to you? How does that sit in your heart? And with that coming out in reverse, like I said, if you hurt someone or, you know, you're not the one that's keeping secrets, you're being very truthful and honest and upfront, you know? You accept things for what they are. You see things for what they are, that kind of thing. Okay, love that for y'all. Yeah, I'm like, what is the Seven of Swords? I know the Seven of Swords in reverse is not anything negative, right? but sometimes it just depends. Okay, I need this next deck here because these are just too positive. Like, what do you mean? I'm hearing you hold the moon and the stars. That could be something coming through as well. Like, you know, what is it? Like when someone really likes you or loves you, they look at you like you hang the moon and the stars. That's the kind of energy coming through. So people kind of want to devote themselves to you. Some people are like, I don't know. I'm getting like a goddess kind of energy for some of you, where people just want to devote themselves to you and like praise you and bow down to you. If they need help, they're coming and asking you, like that kind of energy. They need advice, they're coming and asking you. They need a little bit of inspiration. They need a little bit of money. That's funny. You are the King of Pentacles. You can't really blame them. You have a good head on your shoulders, a good career, a good job, good house, blah, 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 blah. I've already listed all these things. And people, when they need help with any of those things, they come to you. You know what I mean? Justice is also someone who, like I said, is very, like, logical. And they're seeing things within reason. They're not, like, in the Lululand, right? Temperance is moderation. Temperance also gives me, like, health. So you take care of your health. Is something that's coming through as well. People don't really say much about y'all behind your back. It's not positive. Like, I'm not getting anything else. Okay, we'll try a new deck. Please, Spirit, what can you give me? We have the Page of Swords. Someone who's very smart. I would say that with the Libra card. Like I said, you get straight A's in school. You read. Like, you're knowledgeable about a bunch of different things, right? You're someone who's quite warm. People like gravitate towards you as well with the Sun card coming through here. You're someone who's full of life, right? You always have a smile for somebody, that kind of thing. What else is coming through? Whew. We have the star on top of everything else. You hang the stars of the moon. Yeah. You give people a sense of hope. You're just a very overall really, really, really positive and a strong person. Like, very strong, positive energy coming from you guys. You inspire people to want to be better and do better things. You have a freaking 10 of Pentacles. Like, what more can I say? The reading is over. It's done. It's over because you have everything together. It's what everybody's saying. Because when it comes to looks, we have the Empress. When it comes to health, we have Temperance. When it comes to money, we have King of Pentacles and now 10 of Pentacles. When it comes to beauty and standards and how you live, we have the Star. We have the Sun. Like, what else do you, like, you're perfect. Is the vibe coming through. And then we have the freaking 9 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. What the heck? 5 of Wands in reverse. You don't really fight. You're very, gracious. That you give, everyone has a say when they're with you. You're gonna like hold counsel. You're definitely giving me that. Like the head counsel of any situation or of the school or of the family. Like anybody's coming to you with the dispute and you're gonna, like the king, honestly, that's what kings do, right? Back in the days, people would come to them with a problem. Like I'm getting this story from the Bible where these, was it 2 mothers or 2 fathers or 2 parents came claiming that this one baby was both of theirs. You know what I mean? And the king was like, if this baby truly is yours, I'm gonna like cut the baby in half and each of you get to have a piece of the baby. Crazy, I know. And then instead of them doing that, one of the parents or mothers finally came and said, no, it's fine. Let her have the baby. It's cool. He's not my baby or they're not my baby no more. And then the king was like, give that baby to that person because only a true mother would risk giving and not having her child in her life at all than cutting the baby in half and each of them having half of the baby. Like what kind of sick mofo was coming saying, oh, that's my baby. No, it's not your baby. And then the king is saying, oh, I'm going to cut the baby in half and each of you get a piece of the baby. And the person was like, oh yeah, sure. And the other one was like, no, it's fine. Let her have the baby. She can have that. Charge her the game. It's over. Give her the baby. And the king was like, that's the true mother. Give the baby to the mother. That's it. You're giving a Judge Judy type where she'll listen to you. She'll know you're full of S. You're full of SHIT. And she will let you talk. And then at the end, she's going to be like, rule in the favor of the defendant or the one, she's not about that BS. You can see through the truth quite easily. If someone's lying to you, they're lying. You can see through everything, which is why you're coming through as like someone who's so perfect. If there's a problem you have in your life, you can see right through it. If there's a problem you had in school, like an actual math problem or like physical problem, you could overcome it. That kind of thing is coming through. But yeah, that story from the Bible is coming through. The king was like, no. Get that baby to that woman right there. That's the true mother, because a true mother would not let her baby do that. She would rather give her baby up than have it come to any harm, But yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting for you guys. Just a little too nice, a little too perfect. The Nine of Cups is like a wish come true card. It could be you are living your dream and all your wishes immediately come true, or you are a wish come true to other people. You know, it could be both, honestly, as well. But the Star card is just someone who is very, you know, just, I don't know, inspirational, that kind of energy. You inspire hope in everybody else, right? That's that positivity, that what do they call it? It's not hopeless optimism, or is it? Yeah, hopeless optimistic. That, yeah, is it? It could be. I know it's a hopeless romantic, but there's just such a thing as maybe eternal optimist sounds a little bit better. I think that's the saying. You're an eternal optimist. When things go wrong, you know there's a solution. You come up with, you're a fixer, that kind of thing. People are talking about that. This is a little too easy though. This reading is like 21 minutes, and I feel like I've said everything. Like, you're just, yeah, what you see is what you get. Pretty straightforward, honest kind of person. You're an honest worker. You know, you make sure everyone lives a nice life. You're very curious. You're very much like magical, almost unreal kind of person. That could be the thing coming through. Like I said, your beauty is unreal. You're naturally beautiful. You get pretty privileged because of it. You're naturally smart and you get good grades because of it. Mix those two things together, being smart and beautiful, and you get places and go places in life. So whatever you want, you're able to get. Nine of Cups, right? Ten of Pentacles is a happy home, like I said in the beginning of the reading, where your kids have a good life, you have a good life, you have a good stable partner, or you're just great on your own if you don't have a partner, that kind of thing. Your kids are well behaved, you know, you have a nice, like that kind of thing keeps coming through. Y'all go on family vacations every single year, that kind of thing. With the Star card, you're an eternal optimist. You like to err on the side of hope. You don't like to give up quite easily. You know, there's always another solution, that kind of thing. I'm getting a bit of like a humanitarian as well, because the Star card is Aquarius, and they're the natural humanitarian. So you just giving back in life is easy. You could have grown up with a, you know, silver spoon in your mouth, stuff they call it. Yeah. With a silver spoon, you grew up around money and you made it your mission to continue helping others because of that. So you came from a good family, you got an inheritance, now you're living life and you're living good. Others of you have worked hard for every little bit of money that you have, because King of Pentacles is that kind of energy, okay? Ten of Pentacles says, having it all looks different to everyone. So for some of you, having it all could be your 10 cats, it could be your family, it could be you having your own house, having your peace, having your privacy, that kind of thing, okay? Nine of Cups, live in a constant state of gratitude. You have all these great things and you're living in a constant state of gratitude. It's kind of giving me, who can I think of? There's a lot of families on social media that give me this vibe. So there's like the Fluellens, you know, where they have like the cute little baby Hallie. Then they have Emmett. Then they have Harper. Then they have Hayden. You know what I mean? And then they just like, they went from being like nurses to having, every time you see them, they have this big, huge house. They're buying new things, like just like an affluent life. You speak well, you talk well, you look good, that kind of thing keeps coming through. Like, what can we say bad about you? I don't know. Besides, maybe you're hiding something with the Seven of Swords in reverse. Like, you know, it said you could be hiding something from others or from yourself. I don't know what that could mean. I don't know. Because everything else being so positive, what could you be hiding? You know, maybe they think your life is too perfect and you must be hiding something behind all that smiles and all the happiness and all that stuff in the family. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's not. Mind your business. But that's kind of what's coming through. People are like, oh, I bet their life isn't that good, you know? But that's what I'm getting. Someone who gets up, makes their matcha. I keep wanting to mock. I'm so sorry. I promise it's not me. Because I love this for y'all. Because period. I'm trying to make this for myself too. But like, you wake up, make your matcha, go to Pilates, go to the gym, you know. Maybe you're like someone who uses your beauty to make money. You know, I'm getting a Truly kind of energy. I'm getting a Monet kind of energy. I'm getting the influencers who use their pretty privilege to get a bunch of free stuff from brands. So their life is beautiful. They get all this money as well. They're able to buy a house because they're on social media. They're able, all these men and women are checking for them. Their DMs are full. They have options. They're successful. Like, it's just giving that energy from you guys. I don't know what else. It's like giving, no one sees anything wrong about your life. And they think it's a facade, but it could be, it could not be. Who knows? They'll never know, because you could be very private about your life. You see? But you're living your dreams and everything seems that you want comes to you quite easily, honestly. You're someone who's done a lot of healing as well. Maybe it took a lot of healing to get to this place in life, whether you have loads of money or not. It's just giving those people who seem just to be living a great life. They can work out whenever they want. They don't have a full 9 to 5 job. If they have kids, their kids are involved in the content. So it's a family business. There's going to be generational wealth for those kids. You know what I mean? That kind of thing keeps coming through. So Sinma could be the family, people who are, making family channels. If you don't have a family channel, maybe make one, that kind of thing. Let me get some cards from this deck to see what else comes through. We have Wheel of Fortune. Don't piss me off. Wheel of Fortune coming through here. So yeah, there's something here about you having like everything, beauty in abundance, money in abundance, intelligence in abundance, right? Some of you are from other groups as well. Just putting that out there. I'm getting that vibe. Here we have protection. This is from group 1. We have adaptation. That could be something coming through as well. You adapt to your surroundings quite well. I'm hearing final form. That could be significant for somebody here. People are seeing you in your final form. That could be what they're talking about, what they're saying behind your back. How you used to be this and that, and now you're just successful. But what is this and that they're talking about? I don't see no this and that. I just see success and beauty and charm and magnetism. Here we have sense of place. You know who you are. Yeah, that's what it's giving. There's nothing really negative that they can say, honestly. It's giving you found your true calling. You're protected, with protection coming through here. Nothing can nothing they say, nothing they do will ever bring you down, Is that a song? Yeah, I'm hearing what's the song from Frozen? Defying Gravity. Where she's at the end, and she's in no one or nothing's gonna keep me down. Right? I missed that movie. I have to watch it again. Or just that song. That song used to be on repeat when the movie first came out. Let me listen to that song on the way home. I'm gonna do that. But yeah, Defying Gravity. And I used to think in the song she would say, "I'd rather die defying gravity." Is that what she says or no? It seems like your life seems a bit unreal because you're defying gravity. You're flying on a broom, which is not supposed to be real. But Elphaba's one of one. She has magic, or other people don't. So of course she is going to be one of one. But now they started seeing her as wicked because she didn't want to follow behind. The whole movie pisses me off. Tell me it don't piss y'all off, because the girl was innocent. How she turned wicked all of a sudden and then make her die at the end? Don't piss me off. Don't do that. Because she was the victim. She was truly the victim. From childhood to adulthood to her, demise. It just truly just sickens me. I haven't seen the second part yet, but I just know. Y'all ran this girl off. Y'all, it was the wins. It's not the patriarchy. It could be the patriarchy because they are to blame for a lot of things. And it's not the monarchy because we don't live in a monarchy. Maybe some of you do. But it's giving blame the hierarchy, the people who are in charge. Because it was the wizard who went and impregnated her mama, made her be born to bring magic into the world or something, and then he used her, and then when she was nah, I ain't doing all that, cuh. And she bust through the window saying, nah, I'm gonna live my own life. I'm gonna defy gravity. I'm leaving. I'm up out of here. I'm off this. Now she's public enemy number 1. That makes no sense to me. And then it just ends with her dying because she was a wicked witch of the... Don't do that, please. I just can't. Maybe there's something here about people thinking that you have a facade up or whatever. But like I said, there's too much positivity coming through here for them to be thinking anything negative. But I feel like they think that everything could be a little bit of a facade, or they want to see behind the the glass behind the mirror, behind the curtain, if you will. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know how you got here. They want to be all be your business. But there's something here about you being divinely protected. They can't. Maybe they're trying to tear you down. They can't. You know? Some people have really long hair, and that's something to talk about as well. Also, you wear like a lot of adornment, so like a lot of jewelry, stuff like that. Yeah. But that movie pissed me off. It really does. Because that can't be real life, you know? But it was for poor Elphaba. It's sad, it's sad. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. Maybe people make you the enemy for living, like, for having that juice, that sauce, that let me stop. And they're kind of like, how did she get there? Why her, not me kind of energy? Or why them, not me kind of thing. And it's like, well, some of us are blessed and chosen and some of us aren't, you know? That's just life. But I'm going to leave your reading here. There's nothing else that's really coming through besides what already came through, you know? Yeah. That's how people feel. Like, yeah, there's nothing more that I can say. They can gossip all they want, but there's no chisme to make anything up with. There's no gossip, there's no tea, because everything about you it's perfectly placed in a little box behind a curtain, and people can't get past the curtain. You know what I mean? And that's just it. I'm sorry if this reading was boring. You just seem to have it all together, and that's something. I love that for you guys. I hope this reading resonated, though. If it did, I was gonna say if it feels good. If it feels good to you, like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, if it feels good, that's crazy. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, hop the video if you feel called to do so. If this reading resonated, if you want a personal reading, you could always do that using my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye.